The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix. Book 5. Into Battle. Chapter 10. The Free Folk fortress hadn't changed. Milla hadn't expected it to. Apart from the entry over the forbidding crevice with its lava flows far below, it was a pathetic sight. Just a big cave with 7 ramshackle cottages built around a central well. Even knowing that the cottages had larger, better-maintained rooms dug into the rock below them didn't impress Milla. An old, short, and generally dried-up-looking man with razor-short gray hair was drawing water from the well, using only one hand. He looked up as Milla and the others approached, and dropped the bucket.
"That is the former brilliant Jarno Yanalkir of the Indigo Order, once Chief Lector, is it not?"
whispered Malen to Milla.
"Now self-appointed leader of the Free Folk?"
"Yes," Milla confirmed shortly. Like all the crones, Malen had not only heard everything that had happened to Milla, but had walked through her mind and seen a lot of her memories as well. Jarnal didn't seem overly pleased to see Milla again, particularly in company with another ice carl. But he did come to greet them. Milla noticed that he now wore a sunstone openly, on a gold chain around his neck. She hadn't seen it before. It was a large stone, about as big as a baby's fist, and shone with an indigo light. "Milla of the Far Raiders," Jarnal said, formally bowing and giving the briefest flash of light from his sunstone. "To what do we owe the honor of your return?" "I have come for airweed," said Milla bluntly. "I want to enlist the Free Folk to help me deliver it through the heatways." "What?" croaked Jarnal, his face losing all its color. His bad arm twitched and quivered. "Airweed? What for?" It was Malen who answered him. She strode forward and gripped his shaking hand.
"Long ago, our peoples joined together to defeat the creatures of Ainir. To prevent them coming as shadows here, we raised the veil and cast the forgetting in Ainir. But your chosen did not keep the pact of long ago. You have been to Ainir and brought back shadows. Now the creatures of Ainir have broken the forgetting and seek to break the veil. They must be stopped. As the chosen have fallen into error, it lies upon the clans to do what must be done." "Who are you?" whispered Jarnal. He couldn't stop himself from looking into the crone's deep, luminous eyes. "What are you doing to my arm?" "I am Malen, daughter of Arla, daughter of Hala, daughter of Luen, daughter of Rukia, daughter of Nithil, in the line of Grettir since the ruin of the ship. Your arm has been twisted in your mind. I am untwisting it."
Milla suppressed a gasp as she heard Malen's full lineage. No wonder she had not been fully introduced to her before. It was a crone's privilege to speak her full name or not, and crone mothers were simply known by their titles. Even so, Milla wished she had known before. Malen was the daughter of Arla, the shield mother whom Milla had fought and killed in her desperate rush to the rune ship to warn the crones. "Let me go!" Jarnal protested. He was almost weeping. Whatever Malen was doing, it obviously hurt a lot. The Free Folk by Milla's side shifted nervously, but didn't do anything. Finally, Malen let go. Jarnal slumped at her feet. But when he pressed his hands against the floor to get up, both arms moved normally. Jarnal stood and stared down at his open palms, flexing his fingers and rotating his wrists. I thank you," he mumbled. "Yet I cannot condone what you intend. It is not right that the castle—" "I will forbid the Free Folk to gather airweed. There, I have said it. You will get no airweed." Only Milla listened to him. The Free Folk were all staring at Malen. "That was great," said Clovel. "Do you think you can make crow better?" asked Gil. "And Abbot?" "Benham," said Inky, surprising everyone again. "Make Benham better." Benham was Crow's older brother. He had been twice in the Hall of Nightmares, and was now lost in dream.
"Let us see," replied Malen. "Take me to them."
"No airweed," Jarnal repeated. His usually smooth voice broke. "The world is changing," said Milla. "You cannot hold a Selski. You can only kill it or get out of the way. Even if you kill it, you must still get out of the way.
I don't understand,
muttered Jarnell. We will get Erweed, said Milla. Icecarls will come. I will make sure you are not harmed. Jarnell sighed, and with an effort, drew himself up to his full height, a head short of Milla. He bowed again, this time both his arms moving gracefully into the perfect position. He did not give light from his sunstone. Do what you must, he said, and turned away. Do not leave this place, Milla instructed. Jarnell didn't answer, but he left the bridge and went into his own cottage, gently shutting the door behind him. Milla watched him go and wondered if she should have killed him. Somehow she didn't feel like it, even though he was undoubtedly planning something against her and the Icecarls. Nothing was as easy as she had once imagined. She had always thought that when you saw an enemy, or thought someone might be one, you killed them. But when it came down to it, Milla remembered very few actual killings of people among the clans, because there were few real enemies. There were plenty of fights, and plenty of blood was shed, but it rarely ended in a death. The deaths that did occur were always in the heat of battle. There seemed something basically wrong about killing a little old man who was more like a crone than any sort of fighting Icecarl. Perhaps Jarnell would attack her, Milla thought, so she could kill him without having to think about it. She shook her head at this notion and strode off to the cottage where the others had gone. If Malen, daughter of Arla, echoed in her head, could help Crow and Ebbet, they might be able to tell her what had happened to Tal. She did not believe that he had been killed by Crow. Milla was bound to Tal, after a fashion, by Icecarl oaths as well as the magic they had experienced together. She thought she would know if he was dead. Audrys followed her at a safe distance, always keeping to the right, away from the Talon.